and wanting to go to Uganda with us. We are all like super excited to go, and we're even more excited that all of you are interested in going also. JJ, Josh, want anything to add?
I think they're just talking. Oh, right now. Well, I also wanted to say, so just for people's heads up, kind of the interest of the group, we have 11 people who are seriously interested. We have some others that are peripherally interested. Just for the size of the group, that's kind of what we're going for. We want kind of a max 12, fit in the bus, can be hang out, kind of all go in one group, not too big of a vibe for the group. So yeah, but we'll just kind of go through an overview of the trip, and then at the end we'll have a chance for a bunch of questions. But basically, I'm sure a bunch of people have questions. A bunch of people questions about what's going on. A lot of it's stuff in the brochure, but we'll go into more details and have a chance to clarify. Because it's a bit smaller as well, there'll be pieces of it that we'll kind of customize based on who's coming, like the excursions. We'll kind of pick like what the group is interested in. You know, if we want to do a safari, it's a bit more money, but some people might really want to do that, and we'll make time and space for them, or we'll figure it out. So, yeah, if you want to take it away, JJ.
Yeah, yeah. I'm also very excited to go. Well, I'm from Uganda, so I'm definitely excited to be going home, and hopefully show you guys. I know Natalie and Josh have been to Rwanda. Some parts are the same, some parts are not different. But anyways, but it makes it more exciting going specifically for East African Energy Solutions. Just a chance to show people what we're trying to do on ground and our passion and see the community that we're trying to serve. So that just excites me to share this vision with more people. Well, I'll start. My name is JJ, born and raised in East Africa. Um, yeah, I didn't hear about East African Solutions. I'm the president and founder of East African Solutions. So it's it's been fun to you know think about this dream, but also the coolest thing about it is just to bring people. You can do the you can have a dream, but you can't. It's not a dream until you actually start involving other people, and then that, and then you build it together. So it's been fun to build it with Josh, Nikki, Katie, and the board, and it's just been a fun process trying to building something just in the midst of the pandemic was scary, but it was like, well, there's no the right time to begin is always the time you have. So for us, we took a step of faith and like, yeah, we'll start this because it's needed right now. We can't wait. The pandemic is going to almost second year, so we will not wait 2 years to actually start acting on our dreams. So we dared to dream, and here we are, planning to go to Uganda. Josh, do you want to introduce yourself, Nikki, and everyone?
Okay, Burke. I can go next. My name is Josh Burke. How I heard about it was obviously through JJ right when we got started, and why I'm interested in going back to Uganda. I grew up in West Africa, and I went to Rwanda, and I loved it there. And obviously, super excited about the land and the farm that we have there, and also the well and all that. Being able to see all of it in person is super exciting, and also all cooped up from COVID. So I'm super excited to be able to travel and get out there. So yeah, Nikki.
Yeah. Hey, my name is Nikki. I heard about East African Energy Solutions from JJ. JJ is such a charming, charismatic guy that he just roped me into working for him for free, and somehow I'm okay with it. But no, it's totally been a joy to help start East African Energy Solutions and everything that JJ said. Like you get a glimpse at how inspiring and how much of a dreamer JJ is. So it's as a realist, it's very humbling and honoring to be able to work for someone like JJ. Why I'm interested in going. One, I've never been to the continent of Africa. I think it would be just so great to go. Yeah, as Josh said, traveling sounds amazing right now. Getting out of the U.S. sounds great, and I love experiencing new cultures, new foods, new people. It's all just wonderful. So, I mean, and the fact that we get to see our own land, the fact that we get to build biodigesters and bring clean energy, like that's all just so exciting. And to be there and to like tangibly see everything and touch everything, that's going to be super powerful. Natalie, do you want to go?
Sure, my name is Natalie. I heard about East Africa Energy Solutions from Josh. Yep, I don't really know too much about it, so I'm excited to learn more. And then I'm interested in going because I went to Rwanda and loved that, but just would love to experience something new and exciting. And I like to, learn. So, yeah, that's me.
I'll go. Okay, I'm Christina. I heard about you guys basically kind of at its birth, right? Thanks to grad school with so many of you guys when it was really coming into a real business idea. Why I'm interested in going, yes, to everything you guys pretty much already said, but also I've kind of dodged back and forth between US and Southern Africa. So East Africa is always a new experience. And it's not often you get to go with someone who has lived there, knows the cultures, the strengths, the weaknesses. And so I'm excited to be able to do that with kind of you leading the project too, JJ, to get to do that and like fully immerse in a culture and in an area that you guys are invested in. So yeah, cool opportunity.
Christine, are you there? Do you want to share? It's totally okay if not.
I do want to share. I'm so sorry. I'm outside right now, though, so let me go to a slightly quieter area.
We're
Can you
getting the
guys
audio
hear me
fine.
okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Hi, I'm Christine. I heard about you guys through Nikki, who we went to college together. And knowing Nikki's character and how much she cares about, doing good work that actually matters. Oh, you know what? This alleyway looks great. Okay, hold on. Yeah, honestly, I would probably echo all the reasons you guys stated for wanting to go to Africa. I've been very limited too in I would say cultural exposure. Like I'm Korean and American, and that's about it for my culture exposure. So just to see just to see the world as a little bit more multifaceted than what I understand would be great, just so that I can become a better person and do good things would be amazing. I'm gonna go walk into a parking lot. So I'm gonna turn around now. But yeah, that's me.
JJ, you're on mute.
Yes. Sorry, I was mute. So East African Institution is a social enterprise, and we exist to bring clean, sustainable, and affordable energy to East Africa, using biodigesters as an alternative source of energy from the traditional sources of energy, which is charcoal and firewood and other environmentally degrading sources of energy. Because I think that one of the reasons is like you look at Uganda is 40 million people, and 90% of the people depend on charcoal and firewood as their main source of fuel to cook their food. So you think about like, okay, well, how is the environment going to be in 10 years or 20 years? And with the population being so young, there's need to be innovative ways of meeting people's energy needs. And we thought that the biodigesters are suited for that because they use local materials, use biodegradable materials, i.e. cow poop, kitchen waste, things that you would throw away. So you actually put them back into the biodigester and you're able to generate methane gas. And we think that this is one of the ways that we can actually help the environment and also other people to live better lives. And of course, with charcoal comes with side effects, health effects, not just the environment, but then the people who use charcoal. They inhale that smoke, affects their respiratory organs, and there's a there's a rising number of people, suffering from respiratory illnesses in East Africa, and we want to help stop that by encouraging people, convincing them, so that there's another way of living, that you can actually use it by digest and generate methane gas. So that's probably an overview of the organization, and I'll let Josh talk about just the trip a little bit. If you have questions, I can kind of jump in.
Okay. Yeah, I want to talk about just kind of the birth of the idea for the trip as well. We were all headed over there, and JJ worked for years with African New Life, doing all of their coordinating all of their trips in Rwanda. So he was the trip coordinator on the ground, and we're like, wow, you have all this experience, and we're planning on going there. And so that's kind of the birth of the trip. So you guys know, like, oh, we're not going in completely blind. That JJ has done that professionally before, and he's kind of running and what the operations look like and what it takes to run a smooth trip in Africa, which is a bit different than it is in America. We kind of are flexible with those things. So these are just kind of the bullet points, and then we'll elaborate on some of them later on. But it'll be an 8-day trip in January 2022 to Uganda. I know initially, probably when we reached out to you guys, it was October, and then visa issues for JJ kind of pushed that back a bit, and it helps to be a little bit more safe with COVID. We think everyone that is interested in getting a vaccine before the trip will have a chance to do that definitely by January, and definitely there'll be more, the situation will be a little bit cooler on the ground in Uganda, although we'll be in a rural area, and we're happy to answer any of your COVID related questions as well if you have any. We will be dividing time between working in a rural community in Nakasongola, which is that little thing directly in the center of Uganda. It's a bit north of Kampala, as you can see where we'll come in. And it's a beautiful little area, and we have a nice guest house that's run really well. It's like actually a vocational school for people interested in working in the hotel industry and stuff like that. So it's quite simple. It is in a village, it's super rural, but they do a really good job of making it nice and clean and everything. And so then we'll also, between doing that, we'll also do excursions around Uganda and specifically in Kampala. I know a lot of people, Kampala is kind of crazy from what I've heard of, but it's a great city, and doing some of the markets, and there's some like awesome gardens and some other stuff that we can check out. We'll go through those later. And then kind of the third, around Uganda, and the third component is specifically in Kampala. So the trip cost is $1,450. That includes all of your housing, transportation, and several group trips. If we want to do things that are like, I don't know, people want to do like a safari and stuff, there's no way we can cram it in that little budget. But it'll kind of depend on what you guys are excited to do. But we'll include some like oftentimes eat out and stuff within that. And then we'll also have to add airfare. So that covers all the transportation and food and such on the ground. And then depending on what the group are in, yeah, that's what I kind of already said. So that we'll talk about that, and we can specify more when we're like get a specific group of people that are committed, and then we'll like go through like what each person wants to do, and we can specify that budget more then.
Yeah, these are really good options. So the source, other than East Africa, the source of the Nile, there's where the source of the Nile in Kampala, that's people like to go in there. It's just a beautiful place to see. Just the River Nile is just an amazing river, and how they go through all those lakes. The main market, if you want, just go to experience, just to see how local people shop and go about their lives. It's And then the Botanical Gardens. It's a big garden right by the lake, Victoria. So they planted every botanical plant you can think about. So it's really cool to just walk around and see different botanical plants. There's I think they have cafes and little restaurants. Monkeys come and play because they're spoiled. The people feed them bananas and all that. And then the Uganda Museum. It's really cool. You get a glimpse of the whole Ugandan history in one room, and then the royal tombs. So where they bury the kings and royals, and it's also in Kampala. So it's also, again, it also kind of gives you a little bit of the history of Uganda. So, and these are some options. There's Ziwa Rhino Sanctuary. This is actually not very far from where we'll be in Nakasongola. It's because the rhinos were endangered, the endangered animals, so they put out this sanctuary to try to protect them and breed them. Then there's the forest, and then the falls, and we have the option of trying local foods like Rolexes. I don't know if everyone knows Rolex, but it's supposed to chapati rolled in eggs and vegetables, and it's really cool. And then if you want to do a word safari, if you're like, well, I'm already in Uganda, across these oceans, why not? I'm always done for safari. I've done like 100, and I still want to do one the next morning. So it's definitely, it costs a little bit more, but so that it's a cool thing to do. And opportunities to serve. So we're planning to doing some landscaping around the farm. We're building the building we're building. So because it's all muddy and rain gets a little crazy, so we hope to have do some landscaping, gravel, helping out, maybe painting the building, helping out, putting up a workshop, teaching people how to use clean energy. Because you have a new idea, but before you distribute biodigesters in the community, you have to actually tell people what this biodigester is, and just showing the advantages of using the biodigester versus using charcoal and firewood. And I think it's a process that will take a little bit of time and intentional training and convincing. So I think that there'll be an opportunity for you to kind of jump in and talk to the local people about, I don't think none of us is an expert in environment or in conservation, but we all know the effects of climate change. And so, just opportunities for you to serve and, interact with local people. And Josh, is there something I left out?
No, that sounds good. That's one thing we can specify more as well later on. That just kind of gives you a broad picture. Just be in the community and do some stuff to help out and see where we can be helpful and learn from them and things like that.
Yeah, and if we have more land, then we may do, may do some more fencing. Kristen may help with that.
We won't work you guys too hard, don't worry. To the extent you want to get sweaty and dirty and put in the hours, always available, but we're not just trying to get you over there for labor.
No, it's just helping out, and you will have to be intentional to take you have to drink water and you have to take breaks, and so we're not working you out like crazy, so don't worry about
Once
it.
we get you over there, we just cancel the plane ride back. We have our farm labor.
Yeah, and this is kind of the accommodation. It's called Africa Hospitality Institute. It's actually really close to the primary school and high school I went to. So I grew up in that rural area. So the head of this programs, she's actually from Washington, Maggie Josiah. She started she moved to Uganda in her 50s. She worked in the hotel industry in the States for a long time. And then she moved to Uganda in her 50s, close to 60s actually, and started this hospitality institute, just teaching like young people in Uganda, like those who didn't have the opportunity to go to all the way to secondary school or university. So, but have some formal education, teaching them culinary schools so that they can go and work in five-star hotels and all that, but also the guest house as a way of sustaining the whole school, but but the opportunity to being providing good hospitality in the middle of a deep village. All the guest houses are run on solar, so you actually have you have warm hot water and all that, and it's also sustainable. They capture running water from the rainwater, but I also think they have a well that pumps water up there, and then they have like a dining area. So there's maybe it's about a 2-minute walk from the guest house. So you have to walk to the guest house and come back. But although they've done a good job of demarcating little areas and all that, it's absolutely beautiful. So this is top accommodation in Uganda. Her guest house, you know, guest houses in Kampala, you'll get the same. It'll be almost the same services in Kampala. So it's really top hospitality and accommodation. So on that side, if people are like, "Oh, we're gonna sleep like in tents like that," yeah, it's like really good. You'll be actually surprised at how good it is. So yep. And these are the things that you can get. There's no internet though, so you have to kind of. We bought like a what do you call it? A roaming thing. So it's like a modem.
Satellite?
Yeah, a satellite modem that we bought. Because Laura and I think that we'll be able. We're planning to stay there like 3 months or 6 months of the year. If you have that, you can actually have access to internet through that satellite. So I think I'm trying to see how maybe the evening we can help people talk to their families and text back if they want to send some photos and all that. So I'm still thinking of researching. I cannot guarantee that you'll have full internet access down there, but we'll see. Yeah, so this is the whole area. It's very they've done a good job. This was like a bush like 10 years ago. It was just like a thicket and nothing. They cleared it. They left a lot of trees there and they planted flowers, and it looks absolutely beautiful. So, and these are the meals, to have people eat. You get Western meals. So, and you can, if you have any allergies or any dietary restrictions, you can always communicate ahead of time, and they'll accommodate that.
If you're thinking, man, I really want to eat a bunch of Ugandan food, we'll definitely have a chance to do that. It can be a little rough in 8 days to go straight all Ugandan food. So I think it's good to keep a base of some stuff your stomach recognizes and be adventurous with the other. So it's nice to have some normal food, even if it seems a little less adventurous. We'll have plenty of chances in Kampala and such to eat a bunch of local food.
I think that they do a good job balancing it out. I think you have nights where you have like Ugandan dinners and then American, whatever it is, Belgian dinners. It's a good food.
Whole international experience.
Yep. I want you to talk about finances, Josh.
Yeah, so we already talked about kind of the expenses of the trip. I just wanted a quick overview. Some people have talked about maybe raising support from friends or family, or maybe if you want to ask for donations from your birthday or Christmas or something like that, we can provide a gateway for you from our website, depending on what you're wanting to do financially. And just to kind of give you a picture of the finances, aside from any Christmas or whatever, it's about like maybe $200 a month if you were saving from now until the trip, aside from any other gifts or savings that you may have. But I think that gives you a good financial picture for the base price of the trip.
Questions?
And you can feel free to email us as well afterwards. Any questions, obviously, anytime, but any big ones that stand out.
I'm gonna stop sharing my screen.
Okay.
I think you guys struck a good balance between like wanting us to explore and learn, work, and also just, have an adventure, which I think is good. At least it sounds like you're trying to kind of do all of that. What would be your like goal for us as we come back? Like, what would you like us to walk away with, in terms of just getting involved, spreading word, investment? Like what would be ideal for you guys?
All that you said. One is really engaging, just being open-minded and engaging, and serve the community as much as you can, and just kind of listening to what what you're doing there. Like I think that it's easy to just get into the emotions of just serving, but also like, what does that mean to you? Is there something that you really believe in, and then you want to use it either for us and come back and become our advocate, post on social media, and if Christina, you work at church, you can do presentation, like how your time was. But also sometimes what I've seen is that it could be for your own good, like just really thinking about your life, like what you want to do, based on all those experiences, kind of, it kind of stirs thoughts, and like, what do I want to invest my life long term? Just kind of self-assessment. So I think that I think you have to be aware. Like, I think journaling is like, I found it really helpful, like writing down your thoughts, what you're going through the whole day, and come back, and when you're like, and think through all that. So I don't know, for us, it'd be like just become an advocate for our work and spread the word. But also want to minister to you and serve you in terms of like, what does actually this work mean to you, in terms for your long-term goal, gifts and passions and all that kind. Well, hopefully that that's a contribution. If that leads you to us, great. If you go out and come up with another brilliant idea of serving people, that's great. But I love all that you said, Christina.
I initially slotted to ask the question to you guys, what's your goal for the trip? And Nikki's like, they don't know that yet. They're just getting some info. But like, I think it is important before you guys go as well. And, as we talk, to be like, oh yeah, what is kind of my idea for, why I'm doing this besides travel? And I think I don't always like how people do trips that it's all like completely about the other, because like JJ was saying, it's service, but it also is an adventure, and that's like totally fine. And it's awesome to like go explore the cultures and support the local economy there, and eat lots of food and hang out with people. And that's obviously a big part of it, I think, for everyone. I'd be concerned if you're not excited about it and you're just going to go grind it out. And then part of that as well will be like what goal you end up having for yourself. And
yeah, like the whole Biden gesture thing. We went on a study trip to Costa Rica. I saw Biden gestures in videos and photos, but when I went to Costa Rica and visited a farm, the guy who does biodigestion was there. It's just like a click. It's like, yeah, this is what I want to do, because I saw it. It was working. It was a moment of inspiration for me. It's like, all right, my thoughts were not very clear. Now this is cleared, and this is what I want to do. And that was the moment. It was a study trip, but ended up being more than a study trip. So hopefully that such travels, hopefully it may not, or it might be, yes, like helps you click something in your mind, or something you've been processing, like, all right, this you want to do, or whatever. So I think it has to be I know many organizations want to emphasize, hey, you're going to serve us and our people, but at the same time, I think it's 50-50. It's like, what are you getting out of it? Any more questions?
Josh, you kind of touched on it. For finances, if we wanted to have someone donate, like you mentioned, in lieu of birthday gifts, give me Uganda. What would that look like for you guys? Is that something just online they would do, or what does that look like?
Yeah, so it depends. Well, it doesn't depend. We can set it up for the whole group. We might do that where we each have a portal, and then if you're just paying for it, you just straight up go and pay for it. But the website software that we use allows us to create, like, it would basically take you to a web page and it'll show everyone that's in the group, and you basically be your picture. And if you were like, and then it would have a specific payment portal that would pay under your name for the trip.
You have an idea of when you would know like actual dates?
We have tentative actual dates.
Ooh.
But maybe we can wait to completely solidify them. But does anyone know them off the top of their head? In our last meeting, we found out some of them. I think it's early January. But like I said, when the group cements, I mean, we can be a little bit flexible with that. There's obviously other concerns, but it's definitely going to be in January at this time, and we can maybe be a little bit flexible. We're thinking basically it's 2 weekends, Friday night, 2 weekends, and it would be 1 week off work if you're working a traditional schedule.
I'm not sure. I thought we were going to kind of aim for like the 21st, January 21st, Friday, and then coming back on the 29th, which is a Saturday.
Okay. Yeah. The opposite of what I said about it being at the beginning. My memory is garbage. Yeah, so at the end of January. And
that's our projected time right now.
Yeah, but we can talk about that when the group solidifies.
Do we know if Uganda has any COVID vaccine regulations or anything like that? It'd be really nice if we didn't have to have that conversation in January of 2022, but
I think they 2 months ago they're requiring to produce a COVID negative test. Okay. So but I think if you've been vaccinated, I think you can maybe take the card, whatever card you got as your proof of being virus free.
And it'll kind of depend more as we learn more about like if vaccine people can pass it on. Because if vaccine people can't pass it on, then it'll be nice in the rural community. If they can, obviously, a lot of third or like majority world nations have not been able to get the vaccine because of our excellent world. So we'd still need to take some precautions to take care of the people there. If we're pointing out that like, hey, we can't pass it on either, then we'll just follow whatever the people there are kind of doing. In Kampala, I'm sure we're probably going to have to mask up, and it'll be a little bit of a circus, but we'll roll with the punches.
As we do in the COVID era anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Looks like there are no questions. But as you think about, you may not have one, but maybe you think about one 10 minutes after this, feel free to email us, and I'll be happy to share and answer those questions. But I also think we have like a document, that I think we may share at some point.
Yeah, we have a trip manual and a brochure. I mean, you guys already got the brochure, I think, but we can pass out the manual as well. It's a lot of words, but for those of you that are detail oriented, it produces kind of the baseline document.
Yeah.
Yeah, as time goes on, we're going to work on creating like a FAQ page and some other like specific documents. But I mean, we really wanted to have this for anyone and everyone who is interested and kind of just wants some basic information before like taking next steps.
And I did mention we're at 11 now and we're wanting to cap at 12. If you do have people that are also interested that you can pass them off to us still. We'll see kind of where the group goes. Maybe a number of people drop off or whatever, but yep. We'll see.
Cool.
Sounds good. Well, nice to see you guys. Thanks for coming to the info session. It's really cool to explain our excitement of going to Uganda.
Yeah.